Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Sparring Sessions podcast. My name's Dax, and we're here today to break down UFC Fight Night, Emmett versus Murphy. But before we get to all the super exciting action from the stack card, I have to bring in my co-host, Big Will. How you doing today, Will?
What's going on, guys? I'm excited on this nice Sunday afternoon. We got baseball in the air.
Ooh,
Uh, Speak about some fights. So I'm here and ready.
love it. Um, so yeah, we're gonna break down UFC Fight Night, Josh Emmett versus Lerone Murphy going down to the Apex. But before we do that, we'll peek behind the curtains. We'll record this at a special time for us, so we get to give you a UFC Mexico recap as that went down last night for us as we're talking now. Um, Pretty exciting fight card. Brandon Moreno gets a big win. Manuel Torrez gets a big win. A few other fighters. Not the most important card. So, Will, I'm just going to ask you one question. Give me your top. Let's go NHL. Who are your 3 stars of the night?
Brandon Moreno, I think definitely got to be up there. I don't know about specific order, but I'll say this: we got crushed on his significant strikes. I think he was conserving
Yeah,
himself, which I understand in hindsight. If he's fighting in Miami, he might put up 200 significant strikes. So I don't know, but yeah, I think he definitely was conserving himself, which I understand. Got to be there for the fourth and fifth round. Um, man. Another one is probably Jamal Emmers, man. Jamal Emmers got into a scary, scary spot and he pulled it off. Um, you know, that was impressive because he got taken down twice. He got taken down quickly,
yeah,
and he came up and he put damage. And then his corners were fighting for some
that
reason.
was weird.
That
I don't.
was that was very strange. And then I'm also going to have to put Shirez up there.
Ooh,
Shirez put Vergara down, man. He hurt him bad. Vergara was running again, and he got strangled. And I am very happy that that happened because Shirez cashed some things for me. So I'm very very happy in the Shirez parts of the world for
oh yeah,
myself.
me as well. I'm not going to go Shirez, but I was screaming as that Shirez what was it? I think I got it plus 315 or something. Was
Nice.
going down. I know you and I had a few parlays that we were sharing with the under and Shirez money line in it. So
It's nice. It's nice when things just go the way they're supposed to.
uh, um, I'm gonna go Moreno with you. I mean, you got to include him, hometown favorite. Um, I'm gonna go David Martinez. Had a huge debut, granted against I guess a bum. I mean, he's UFC. He's a UFC fighter, Simon Oliveira, but he's no he's no Marab. But I'm super excited for him going forward. I have to go Gauthier as well. Welcome back, Francis Ngannou. Um, at middleweight, did the unthinkable, what nobody had done before, knocked out Jose Daniel Medina. And yeah, that's my 3. That's my 3.
Early
So
stoppage. Early stoppage.
come on, he was fine.
Yeah, good to go.
Uh, so yeah, that was UFC Mexico. Pretty fun card. Pretty fun card, I'll say. Uh, Better than UFC London, I'll say that.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt about it.
But we are jumping into the introduction for this fight night we're breaking down. And no fun location. We're in the UFC Apex, Nevada, Las Vegas. 6 p.m. Eastern start time for the prelims, 9 p.m. for the main card. So you're not getting the bump from an early card either. And yeah, there's 13 fights. The past 5 or 6 cards all been 13 fights, so that's interesting trend. 3 out of 26 are ranked.
Mm.
Well, I'm gonna play this game with you. I don't know if you've seen this. Obviously, you've done your research for this card, but I'm not sure if you saw this by chance. Obviously, the main 2, Emmett and Murphy, are ranked. Do you know who the 3rd ranked fighter is?
Mm. Is it Martin Buday?
Close. It's his opponent, Kendi
Oh
Nzechukwu.
wow.
I don't know why or how, but
Buday was ranked for a little bit, right?
yeah. And then he
Okay.
lost. Gaziv took his spot.
Interesting. So the battle of the blobs.
Yeah, cards pretty much held together. Chikadze and Onama were supposed to fight. That would have been a good one. And then Lookboonmee was supposed to fight Ariane Carnelosi, and she is out. And now she's fighting Istela Nunes, and we will talk about that fight in a second. But first, I got to ask Will, overall rating of the card as a whole.
A 5.
Yeah, this is
A 4 or 5, something like that.
a C minus card, maybe.
Yeah.
Better than when we broke down a few weeks ago, but you don't really have any names. You don't really have a
Come on,
ton
man.
of
We got
fighters.
Vanessa Demopoulos and Kennedy and
Oh,
Nzechukwu.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Arrest me. We'll jump right in. I don't think we need to talk too long. This is a filler show. They need to throw some fights on a card. I mean, God sakes, we have four women's fights. Yeah. Super fun. Speaking of which, first up, we're going to jump right into it. Women's strawweight, Vanessa Demopoulos is a minus 142 versus Talita Alencar. Now, I did this yesterday. I know these odds have changed a little bit. This fight specifically I did this at 8 p.m. last night. These have changed. This is now a pick'em. So I'm not going to update the graphic because that's a lot of work and I've already done this. But yeah, this is now a pick'em. And another fun thing about this fight, probably more fun than the actual fight itself, I think this is the shortest combined reach for any fight ever, at least from my record, from what I could tell. They both are sub 60 on the reach. So that is something else. Demopoulos is 5-3 in the UFC, coming off a submission loss to Jacqueline Amarim, and Alencar is 1-1 in the UFC, coming off a unanimous decision loss to Stephanie Luciano. So I'm going to kick it to you first, Will. As always, I need your prediction, and then also I'd like to hear your thoughts on this fight.
I think that the odds are interesting. I was almost certain that Demopoulos would be a good size favorite, like minus 180. And it might not be super attractive at those odds, but I think she's pissed off from her last fight, with the grabbing of the glove and whatnot, or what may or may not have happened. But I don't think much of Alencar. I think she's like a diet Demopoulos, like
Yeah.
in the most basic way. I think Demopoulos is going to be just that better everywhere. I think her striking's better. I think both of their wrestling isn't great. They both have decent jujitsu or above average jujitsu, but I think they both have an issue putting the wrestling together. But I think Demopoulos is more willing than Alencar is. Yeah, a little bit more relentless. She's got a little bit more Marab in her than Alencar does, and I think that she will probably win a closer decision. So if you're laying money on this, which admittedly so, I'm probably going to bet on Demopoulos and sweat the entire time, but I'll have a good time. Um, I think that she is pissed off over this, and I think she's going to get the job done. She's going to get a decision win.
I agree. I think that Alencar's best bet of the victory here is to win by submission. Jiu-jitsu champion herself. But you said it, Demopoulos is good jiu-jitsu. Not phenomenal, but good. I think she might just keep this on the feet, too. Alencar is not good at getting takedowns, essentially.
Yeah.
And I would favor Demopoulos pretty heavy in a standing fight.
She's won on the feet before in the UFC.
Yeah.
She has she's done it.
I think this is.
Have you seen the Tapology votes on this fight?
No, I
What do
generally
you think? What do you think they are?
75% Demopoulos.
Exactly.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's there's some interesting ones. We'll talk about a few there are a few here. But yeah, Demopoulos. I don't want to spend too much longer because this also could be just a horrible fight where nobody does anything at all, and then the judges just pick whoever yelled louder, something. I don't know. But yeah, both on Demopoulos. Next up, bantamweights, Victor Henry, -180 versus Pedro Falcao. Henry's 3-2 in the UFC with 1 no contest, coming off that submission loss to Charles Jourdain. He's 5 years older than Falcao, who's 0-1 in the UFC. If you remember, he was the short notice replacement against Victor Henry on that UFC 308 card in Abu Dhabi. This is my pick first. I'm going Victor Henry, and I'm really confident in this one. I think I write down odds, like what I think the odds will be for this fight, and I had Victor Henry -350 written down. If you look at Falcao, I mean, he's just going to do Victor Hugo just took him down and wrestled him and also had success on the feet. And I think Henry can do the exact same thing. We've seen Henry lose fights that he shouldn't. Granted, he probably shouldn't have lost the Sunso fight. And, you know, if he wasn't sticking his neck into the guillotine of Charles Jourdain, he would have won that. That being said, I think this is a bounce back fight for Henry, and I think this is a, hey, let's get Falcao out of here. He's not a UFC caliber fight. So, yeah, supremely confident. Love the odds. You with me?
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't really have much to say. I agree with you. I think Pedro's kind of one of those nothing burger Brazilian fighters. Uh, who knows, man? He can go have some fun fights and jungle fights down in Brazil.
Shout
So,
out.
shout out. Yeah, Victor Henry probably, dances his way to a decision victory, I'd say.
Yeah, quick and easy. Next one, probably quick and easy. You know, these early prelims on UFC Apex cards, we're not spending 20 minutes on it like we will next week for UFC 314. But yeah, women's strawweights. Sorry to wonderful intro to this fight. Women's strawweights. Loma Lookboonmee -550 versus Istela Nunes +350. Pretty wide odds. This is at least right now the widest on the card. Lookboonmee is 6-2 in the UFC on a 3-fight win streak. She's coming off a unanimous decision win over Bruna Brazil. Nunes on the other side, 0-4 in the UFC. Yes, that's right. 0-4. She's the female, not Edgar Shirez. Who is the guy?
Daniel Lacerda.
Daniel Lacerda. She's the female Daniel Lacerda. She's coming off a TKO, which is like a elbow freak injury thing, versus Victoria Dudakova, 4-fight losing streak, but she has 4.5 inches of reach over Lookboonmee, the Thai champion, Muay Thai champion. Pretty big odds. You agree with them, Will?
Yeah, I feel very strongly about this fight. I think Loma's gonna finish Nunes.
Ooh.
She's only got 2 finishes on her record, but I think she's finding herself, and I think she's gotten way better than when she was first in the promotion. I think Nunes gasses out, and I would not be surprised in the slightest if Loma wrapped up a neck or if she put her down with a body shot.
Yeah.
Later in the fight, and I was looking at the odds, and man, the under is like +230 or something, and I was just like, if the under is +230, I can't imagine what Loma's finish odds are, but like +400
Something
or
like that.
something
Yeah.
like that. I love that. I love that. I
Yeah.
think Loma's gonna destroy this girl, like no doubt about it. And with that being said, Estela Nunes is probably gonna head kick her into,
Oh God.
no, but I'm pretty confident in Loma, and I
Yeah.
don't think I ever feel super confident about prelim fights, much less a unranked strawweight women's fight. So
Yeah.
I think I have a really really good handle on this one. But yeah, I'm going Loma by finish.
Interesting. I am on Loma. Maybe finish, maybe decision. I'm not entirely sure. 4 out of Nunes' 5 losses are by finish in one way or another. So that is something to keep an eye out for. Maybe on that bet step. So maybe I'll steal that from you coming up. Next up, welterweight Rhys Mckee +140 versus Daniel Frunza -166. Mckee is 0-4 in the UFC over 2 stints. Granted, that's 0-4 to some pretty good competition. We'll talk about that in a sec. 2-fight losing streak. Coming off a unanimous decision loss over Nzechukwu. He has 5 inches of reach over Frunza. Frunza is 9-2 overall, 1-0 on Contender Series. He's making his debut in the UFC. He's coming off a TKO win on Contender Series versus Vadim Kutsi. Kutsi? I hope I'm saying that correctly. This one is mine. I'm going Frunza here. Pretty confident, too. This is a guy I've watched in LFA for a while. He beat Hars Tulunzik, who I think we're going to see on Contender Series this year himself, and I will pick to win his bout. And then he beat a 17-1 Belarusian guy on Contender Series. He's got power. He's got the anti-wrestling that, let me put it this way. I don't think Rhys is winning a stand-up fight. I don't think he's going to take it to the ground, want to take it to the ground. I think the only way Rhys wins this is kind of holding Frunza up against the cage for 3 rounds, which could happen. But I think Frunza finds a way to get out. Frunza 9 wins, 9-2, 8 by knockout. So I'm pretty high on him. I don't think he's going to be a guy. I don't think he's going to be ranked, but he's going to be fun, and I think he can beat Rhys Mckee. So that's my breakdown.
I agree with you there. I'm a bit biased in this because I have like a slight connection to Frunza. A buddy of mine through Tuco trains with Frunza down in Miami. I think it's like Knockout Club or something like that. My buddy Darius. He also just won his first kickboxing fight or his first professional kickboxing fight over in Lithuania. But yeah, he trains with him, man. He's a dog. I think his boxing is really nice. We cashed a good amount on him in Contender Series last year, Frunza. That was a really good spot. I think this is a really good spot here. This is not up or shut up for Rhys Mckee. So I had the pleasure of being in his last fight against Chitty. I can't remember one. I can't remember one thing that happened in that fight. But yeah, I'm gonna say that Frunza rips the consciousness out of Rhys Mckee's body.
Yep.
So
we are together on that one.
Yeah.
I got a feeling we're gonna be together on this next one. At least I hope we are. Women's flyweight: Diana Belbita plus 300 versus Dione Barbosa minus 450. I don't like that look you just gave me. Well, Belbita is 2-5 in the UFC on a 2-fight losing streak. Coming out. This is part of the reason why the odds are so wide. I just thought this is hilarious. She's coming off a submission loss to Molly McCann over a year ago, and she's also coming up from strawweight. So nothing good on the docket here for Belbita. On the other side, Barbosa is 2-1 in the UFC, coming off a unanimous decision loss to Miranda Maverick. So no shame there. Pretty wide odds for a women's flyweight fight, granted, but are you going with the 2-1 whose only loss is to a pretty good contender? Or are you going with Diana Belbita?
The UFC knows what they're doing, man. They're sweeping Belbita the hell out of the UFC. I think Barbosa is gonna snatch that arm up and give her 6th submission loss. Sometimes it's just this matchup is just what are we doing? It's just like who did Belbita piss off in the UFC? Like I don't get it. It's sort of the matchmaking lately is really just like Vince Morales against Rosas last week. It's just like
Jesus.
We're just putting this style that favors one person so heavily against each other, and it's like put up or shut up. I think Barbosa, she hasn't gotten a submission in a good bit. I think she's 1-1 in the UFC.
Yep.
I think she snatches up an arm because she beat Ernesta Caracata, and she's pretty damn good.
Yep.
Miranda Maverick, I think that was also a very close fight that she could have won. And if you're having a close fight with Miranda Maverick, who is what she's ranked, right? Miranda Maverick's ranked.
Gotta be right.
I think so. Yeah, I think Belbita is gonna get submitted. She'll be 15-10, and she'll get her walking papers.
Number 12, Miranda Maverick. You are correct. Yeah. Other 2 losses for Barbosa: Josiane Nunes, which I'm not going to talk about that one, and then Jenna Bishop, who's a very good prospect. So we're together. This is Barbosa.
An age like milk. That lost an agent like milk.
You mean the GOAT, Josie and Nunes?
Oh man.
This is going to be a Barbosa win. Taking her down sub or hold her down for 3 rounds, whatever she wants. Next up, bantamweights. Davey Grant plus 150 versus Daniel Santos minus 180. The odds kind of surprised me on this one. I was not expecting this. Grant is 7-6 in the UFC, coming off a unanimous decision win over Ramon Tavares. We were there in UFC Tampa. 9 years older than Santos, who is 2-1 in the UFC, coming off a unanimous decision win over Johnny Munoz Jr., which is part of a 2-fight winning streak. I'm going Santos. I don't like the odds, and I'm not supremely confident. This is a fight IQ thing for me. We saw Rodriguez, Lazy Boy, just lose because of horrible fight IQ. If Santos comes in here and does what Ramon Tavares did, try to point kickbox Davey Grant, he's going to lose. If he takes him down a bunch, or if he gets super in his face and just tries to make them beat the hell out of each other, maybe he loses too, but I think he's just a little bigger. Grant's pretty old and hasn't been as active, so Santos, not confident, don't like the odds. I think you've exclusively picked Davey Grant for as long as I can remember you. Is this continuing?
Yeah, I think this is the coin flip of a fight, and in that case, I gotta go Davey Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Davey Grant, man. He's tough as nails. He takes bombs. Take one to give one. He's the kind of fighter that can lose to anybody, beat anybody. And those guys are dangerous. So I'm gonna go Davey Grant here, and it's probably gonna be a long drawn out fight. Both guys get like 80 plus significant strikes. It'll probably be a pretty good fight. I'm gonna go Davey Grant.
I agree. It will be a very good fight, and I don't hate a Davey Grant pick. Next up, flyweights. Ode Osbourne plus 170 versus Luis Gurule minus 205. Osbourne is 4-6 in the UFC on a 3-fight losing streak, coming off a unanimous decision loss to Ronaldo Rodriguez, who we just saw 9 inches of reach over Gurule. Gurule is making his debut off Contender Series. He is 10-0 overall, 1-0 on Contender Series. He beat Nick Pincinini, world-class NCAA wrestling champion, to get his contract on short notice too, and he was a Fury FC champion before that. This is you. Yeah, you. Are you going with the newcomer at minus 205, Will?
Yeah, I think I am. I've been sitting here pondering. I've been pondering since I woke up on this fight. Ode Osbourne just really isn't great. He can get out muscled and overpowered in a lot of positions against people that don't have great wrestling.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it takes a lot to out muscle this guy. He gets finished a lot. He has 6 finished losses out of his 8 losses, 4 by sub. Uh, I mean, he's getting out muscled by Lazy Boy, who just isn't that smart of a guy from what we saw. Uh, he's been slept by Tyson Nam and Manel Cop. I was there for that one when he got slept by Manel Cop with the
Yeah.
flying knee. That was nice.
Where's that?
I
Dallas?
mean, that was in Houston. I'm
Houston?
almost positive, yeah. Brian Gallagher choked him out. I mean, it's a lot of questionable things with Ode Osbourne's record. And you know, his best win is probably Charles Johnson, which was a split decision.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, Gurule's probably gonna land something nasty, probably knock him out, wrap something up. I'm gonna have to go Gurule, and it'll be 4 straight losses for Ode Osbourne.
I'm actually going Ode Osbourne here. Like you, I was waffling, and just that he's this big of an underdog, I guess. You said something. Gurule kind of reminds me of Charles Johnson a little bit. Current Charles Johnson more than past Charles Johnson. He is stubborn, throws with a little bit of power, but I watched a few of his fights, and some of the better guys he's fighting, he's just kind of holding them against the cage for long stretches of the period, pot shotting, maybe gets a takedown here and there, but I don't know. Something in my gut's telling me Oda Osbourne's going to make this fight just kind of dirty. And the reach, Niners have reached a lot. So I think this is a dirty, nasty split decision for Oda Osbourne that looking back, we're probably like, oh, Gurule should have won that. But um, I don't think anybody will care too much to argue a ton unless you have money on it, which I will not have
Yeah,
money on. I promise you. Um, so
I can't say the same.
Uh, all right. Well, we're gonna go to the main card. Pretty interesting fight for first fight on the main card. Torrez Finney minus 225 versus Robert Valntin plus 185. These are middleweights. Valntin is 0-1 in the UFC, coming off a submission loss to Ryan Loder. I say 0-1 because this was the tough finale at middleweight, and the UFC officially counts it as a UFC match, UFC fight.
Mm.
So I'm going to. He's got 6 inches of height over Finney. Finney is 10-0, undefeated overall, making his UFC debut 3-0 on the Contender Series. They made him fight 3 times and destroyed 2 of those 3 guys. And he killed Abdullah Irami most recently on Contender Series. This is my pick. Yes, I did this intentionally so you could have the next fight. This is Finney. This is pretty easily Finney, too. I think he's going to take him down instantly, power double, and ground and pound him almost immediately. I mean, like you said about Demopoulos, I think Finney's pissed off. I think he doesn't like that he was disrespected on the Contender Series. I have this theory. I call it the protagonist of the season. I have this theory they're trying to make Contender Series a little more interesting. So they're like highlighting one guy to give him an interesting storyline. Like it was Bo Nickel, they gave him 2 fights. B. Joe Pyfer, and now it's Torrez Finney, who had to fight 3 times to get a contract. So I think this is a Finney win. TKO, 2 minutes, 3 minutes in a round 1. Are you going with the Valntin upset here?
I don't think it's as cut and dry as you made it seem,
Hmm.
or as you may think. I think Finney, when he's on top, I don't think he's nearly as talented a wrestler or as good of a pressure on top as Ryan Loder was. Ryan Loder has a way more credentials than Torres Finney in
Yeah.
wrestling. He is it seems to be way stronger on top than Torres Finney. And Torres Finney, man, he is if he can't get on top of you and do what he wants to you, and rinse and he's also kind of a nothing burger.
Yeah.
Uh, and Valentin, he is extremely violent, and he had a bad matchup in his debut. He beat he beat the talented Zoran Dodd to get into the Ultimate Fighter, 15-25. And this won't matter to the audience, but do you know who Zoran Dodd's next opponent is?
Ooh, Zoran
It's
Dodd.
someone that
Give
chat
me,
knows.
give me a promotion.
I had no idea the promotion
Oh,
somewhere over in
promotion. It's
Croatia.
not. Oh, is it Myron Dennis?
No, it's Merdad.
Oh, is it? Is it?
Merdad is fighting
Wow.
Zoran Dodd. Yeah, he's fighting him in I think a few weeks at
Wow, that's
up
awesome.
a weight class. He's fighting him at 185.
Wow. Okay.
Merdad Janzamini. Yeah, he's fighting him. But I will say that it is possible that Valentin could win. Um, am I gonna bet on it? Maybe, but probably by finish if I do. Uh, I think this is just a weird fight, man. This is a very weird fight that I think could go either way. It's one of those fights that, what are the odds on this fight? What was it? Okay,
225 and plus
okay, not as
185.
bad as I thought they would be. Um, I would like to see what the under 2.5 is whenever that drops.
Oh yeah.
Uh, because I think Finney he is cut from the same cloth of like a Jerry Prohaska. Is like he's insane. I believe that like he's a weird Viking fighter, live,
Sure.
breathe, and die this stuff, and I'm gonna go insane. Did you watch this season on Tough?
Valentine? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Like he's
I
an
did.
oddball. He's an oddball, man. I think those kind of guys you can't count out like the Tony Fergusons and the Jerry Prohaskas. Those weirdos. I'm spending way too much time talking about this. I'll take Finney, but I back on my mind. I am. Don't be surprised on best bets if I'm not on the episode. You read off
Yeah,
one of my
fair enough.
bets that I send in on Robert Valentin.
Fair enough. Yeah. Um, we don't need to spend any more time. I could talk about that tough season for 20 minutes, but nobody would listen. Nobody would listen. Shout out, actually, we got. I said that last time, and somebody was in our YouTube comments. Rafican 2978. Shout out. I
Uh,
um. Anyway, next up, middleweights again. Brad Tavares minus 225 or Gerald Meerschaert plus 185. I want to save this one for you. Uh, Tavares first is 15-10 in the UFC. These are two vet. This is a vet fight. On 2-fight losing streak, coming off a unanimous decision loss against Iron Turtle John Young Park. Meerschaert on the other side, 12-10 in the UFC, coming off a submission loss versus RDR, 3 inches of reach over Tavares. Funny enough, these guys born 3 days apart. I thought that
oh
was
wow.
pretty interesting. Yeah, because these are both older vets, so I had to look.
Hmm.
Well, I'm not even asked. Tell me why you're picking Meerschaert here.
It's hard to bet against him, man. It's hard to bet against him, especially in a fight like this. If it's not some surging prospect and it's a guy that's been around as long as he has, or has fought as many people up on the top as he has, it's hard to bet against Meerschaert, man, because um, he fought Rene de Ridder, who's 2-0, two-time champion in another promotion, and Rene de Ridder's got a little less on the tires. He got out Meerschaerted, but like that's there's no he lasted longer than Kevin Holland did,
Yeah, damn straight.
and it's like. Uh, Gerald is a wizard on the ground. He is I think every single finish he's had is every single win he's had in the UFC is a finish, maybe for one, I think.
I think there
I'm
was one
He might have had
decision.
one decision win. Um
Um,
I I think
actually, no,
no decision
no,
wins.
no decision
Okay.
wins.
I've been at like four of Gerald's fights, like four or five of his fights,
Yeah.
and inadvertently too. But yeah, man, Gerald's a good guy. Shoot, might even try to set up an interview with him before his fight this week. Who
Ooh,
knows? We got Logan Storley and Gerald Meerschaert coming up this week.
ooh.
Guys that I know and speak to here and there. It would be nice to get on. Gerald, man, I think he can make it gritty. I don't think Brad Tavares has the stopping power to put Gerald down. I think Gerald might be uber aggressive and try to really go after him and have a wrestle heavy game plan or try to clinch with him to initiate some sort of grappling. And Gerald's got sneaky striking, man, because he's definitely hurt people. Here and there, and I would not be surprised if someone's first submission loss is against Gerald Meerschaert because that's not a surprise, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm going Gerald. I'm going Uncle Gerald.
I'm with you. Brett
Hell
Tavares,
yeah.
for his long tenured UFC career, has not really fought a ton of like submission grapplers.
Yeah.
Whoever has tried, for the most part, has kind of just taken him down. If you look at the stats, they're deceiving, but especially recently, Gregory Rodriguez took him down twice. John Park took him down twice. Mario Akhmedov took him down twice. I think Meerschaert can, and I think Tavares is just kind of getting old. And his most recent wins are against Chris Weidman and Omari Akhmedov, who are both out of the UFC. I think both in the GFL actually. Mm. And yeah, I don't think he's, Meerschaert, RDR, I value pretty highly. And Meerschaert's kind of been losing by getting RDR, getting out Meerschaerted, or getting Joe Pfeiffered, just one shot knockout. I don't think Brad Tavares is going to do that. So I have
Uh,
Meerschaert as well. Love the odds.
if you look on Gerald's Instagram, he's been splitting his training up. He's been training a
Ooh,
lot with Bilal again.
interesting.
So take that with what you will. He's he's close with a former Rufus Sport guy in
Yeah.
Bilal, and I think they have some sort of gym together in Chicago or something like that. I think Ignacio Bahamondes is a part of that crew as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Out in uh,
yeah,
some
Chicago.
park. I've driven through it a few times.
You're training with a champion of Bilal that he might not be the most flashy, he might not be the most exciting, but that dude knows how to fight and win. So, you know,
Damn straight. We'll talk about that in a few weeks here.
yeah.
Awesome. All right, next up, heavyweights. Kennedy Nzechukwu and ranked heavyweight Kennedy Nzechukwu. I can't believe I'm saying that. Number 15, minus 265 over Martin Buday, plus 215. Nzechukwu, there we go. 8-5 in the UFC, coming off a KO win over Lucas Brzeski, 2-fight winning streak since coming up to heavyweight from light heavyweight. Despite being the guy coming up, he has 6 inches of reach over Buday. Buday on the other side, 5-1 in the UFC, coming off a unanimous decision win over Andrei Arlovski. He has 26 pounds or so based on their last wins. This is me. I'm going to Nzechukwu. I'm not super confident. I don't like these odds at all. Buday's 5-1 in the UFC. Granted, it's not against elite competition. I mean, you're talking the Andrei Arlovskis, the Josh Parisians, the Jake Colliers of the world. But I think he's better than the odds are giving him credit for. And Nzechukwu has a bunch of losses in the UFC. I mean, most recently to OSP, super old OSP. A year ago,
When he was like a humongous favorite.
yeah, he was a minus 700 and he lost. I think Buday can make this dirty. Nzechukwu has only really won the UFC by, except for one fight, by finish. And Buday is pretty durable. He got knocked out versus Gaziv, but that was a bit of a weird one. And he went to decision versus Juan Espino. So I'm going to Nzechukwu. Probably weird later finish. Not super confident though. Are you more confident in me either way?
I think Kennedy's gonna win. I think he's gonna come in a little heavier this fight because he
Yeah.
was what? He's coming lighter on heavyweight. He was what, 241 his first fight, and he
Yeah.
came in at what, 237 his last, 236
Yeah.
and a half. So I
236.
think we'll see him in the mid 40s, upper 40s this fight. I could be dead wrong. But I don't think Buday is anything special. He's just big, he's thick.
Yeah.
And Kennedy might want to put on some extra pounds for some extra stopping power, but I don't really know. I think he will come in heavier than he did his last fight. I don't think it really matters that much, but uh, Kennedy might not always perform well, but the dude is always like he's out here like I think he just got his blue belt. He is like competing in like jiu-jitsu tournaments. Like the
Oh,
guy
wow.
wants to learn. He wants to learn and get better. Yeah, he just placed in like a couple of NAGA tournaments, I'm pretty sure.
That's great.
Down in I don't know where it was, but yeah, he is a guy that's always wanting to learn. And how old is he? He's what, is he 30 yet?
32.
He's
32.
30. Okay, he's about to be 33.
It's
But
heavy. It's heavy.
that's nothing in heavyweight. Yeah, I'm gonna take Kennedy by knockout.
Okay. Train out of Fortis MMA. He's got Safe Sayud, the general over there. Good coach. I like it. Maybe I don't like it as much as the odds say, but I like it. Next up, this one this one was an interesting one. This is probably the one I thought the most about seriously about. Bantamweights, Cortavious, are you not entertained? Romious versus Chang Ho Lee. Romious is 0-1 in the UFC, making his or coming off a unanimous decision loss versus Gaston Bolaños. Lee on the other side is 1-0. UFC hasn't really talked about how they treat road to UFC like title championship fights. I'm going to go with 1-0 in the UFC because it was a road to championship fight and it was on a UFC official card. That being said, he's making his official non-road UFC debut on a 4-fight win streak, and his last fight was a win against Long Zhao to win the aforementioned road to UFC title. Will, are you going with the are you not entertained or no nickname Chang Ho Lee?
Looking at this fight, I thought Cortavious was going to be the favorite. Uh,
Interesting, did you?
I don't think much of the road to the UFC guys. Yeah. Um, I don't really think much of the UFC guys or the UFC road to UFC guys. They're just not great, and you know there hasn't really been many great guys. There's what people that came from that wrong Zhu.
Yeah.
Is that the best guy to come from Road to UFC?
Uh, Maybe.
Or Tuco Tokos, you know,
Shout out. Zhang
shout out.
Mingyang too.
Like
Worse
Jamie
than
Yang.
Tuco. Worse than Tuco, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean that those are the only names I can really think of. I'm sure I can drum up some more if I thought about it. But I thought Romious would be like a slight favorite. Um, he goes for a lot of takedowns. He's Chang Ho Lee. I couldn't tell you one thing he does well, like great. Like I this guy doesn't in my head. Like I don't remember any moments or whatever it may be. Um, his last fight wasn't really impressive to me against Long Zhao split decision against a guy that has, 4 times the experience he does. Um, I don't know, man. I think Romius is gonna put on his wrestling shoes and put on a pace and get a decision win here.
Interesting. I'm on the other side. I'm going Shanko Lee. I'm actually pretty confident in Lee. I think he himself is going to wrestle a little bit. Romious got taken down 2 times by Gaston Bolaños, and he took him down too. And he got taken down by Michael Imperato on the Contender Series. And I think Chang Ho Lee can kind of tire him out a little bit. We've seen the gas tank of Romious. He didn't look good at all in that 3rd round. And I think that against Bolaños, and I think that Lee either takes over late or honestly, if he just like double legs him and starts raining down blows, I could see an early KO here. I just think he's much bigger. Size is huge. Size matters, we all know this. And I think
That's what she said.
I think Lee is gonna win this, maybe KO, probably decision, but I was pretty confident. This was one of my more confident ones. So it'll be an interesting fight. It will be entertaining either way. They're both entertaining.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Co-main event, featherweight co-main event. Pat Sabatini, your guy, plus 170 versus Joanderson Brito, minus 205. Brito is 5-2 in the UFC, coming after a split decision loss to William Gomi. Sabatini on their side, 6-2 in the UFC, coming off a submission win over Jonathan Pierce. He also has 4 recent grappling wins. I wanted to call them out. They're pretty cool. He beat Nico Price by Souliev stretch. He beat Herbert Burns, and he won against 2 other guys, one by straight ankle lock, which I'm a big fan of. Yeah, not official, MMA fights, but just want to call that out. This is my turn. I'm going Brito here. Not really confident at all. I think Brito's just kind of, he's a little younger. I think he kind of, oh wait, no, they're the same age, aren't they? No, a little younger, 4 years. Not that it's a huge deal, but I think Pierce hasn't been, or not Pierce, what am I saying? Sabatini isn't super active. I think Brito can kind of get up when Sabatini takes him down, maybe a little bigger. And I think Brito's going to make it dirty, maybe decision. I could see him getting a snatch and something or getting a TKO, but I think this turns into a grimy decision. This one, I'm definitely waiting until we see the face-offs to make any official bets or maybe make my official Tapology-esque pick-em picks. Well, I know you have a little bias against. We didn't get to see Joe Pyfer at UFC Mexico, so we can't have the 3 straight.
Yeah, it's wild that they would even book that like 3 straight,
Yeah, I
guys.
know, right?
That's wild. I think this will be a good fight. I think they're both bad matchups for each other,
Yeah,
like legit. Uh, Maybe good matchups depending on who you ask.
yeah.
I like the under 2.5 whenever that arises.
Ooh, okay.
Whatever that may be. I don't know. BetOnline has it. Uh,
Let me check for you while you
oh,
talk.
the under 1.5 is plus 165. That means you'll probably get the 2.5 at a pretty good number.
Yeah,
Um, I don't really know what to think of this fight, man. I could see uh Brito making a mistake, maybe initiating a takedown. Just seems like something he would do like for like an
yeah,
ego thing. Uh I think he definitely won his last fight against Gomi. Um Pat Sabatini is as talented as they come when it comes to grappling, and I think he could probably submit almost anybody in the division if he has the chance to. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna go Pat Sabatini by submission. I'm gonna tell everybody I'm biased, and
Yeah.
you know,
No
any
hate.
when it
No hate.
comes to local, you know, Philly the Delco guys in Pennsylvania, I'm gonna probably pick them. Uh, but yeah, I'm going Pat. I'm gonna go on Pat by submission, and I'm taking the under in that fight. I hope it comes through. I hope it comes through for sure.
Hell yeah. Will be exciting. We are on to the main event. Featherweights. Number 8 ranked Josh Emmett plus 250 against number 10 Lerone Murphy. Emmett is 10-4 in the UFC, coming off a KO win over Bryce Mitchell over a year ago. RIP Bryce Mitchell. You know, they replaced him with robots and made him say Nazi propaganda. It's what a shame. He's 7 years older than Murphy. Murphy on the other side, 7-1 in the UFC, 15-1 overall. So unbeaten, whatever they like to say. He's got a draw in there. Coming off a unanimous decision win over Dan Ige, 7-fight win streak, 3 inches of reach over Emmett. This is you. Are you going with the Brit or the not quite hometown, but the home country Josh Emmett to take it home?
I think these odds are crazy. I thought it was going to be a pick 'em.
Oh, really?
I thought this fight was going to be a pick 'em. Yeah. Just because they're kind of meeting in the middle in terms of where they've been in their career, and usually when that happens, the odds are a little closer than they are. Josh Emmett, he's only has 4 losses.
Yeah.
That's it. Like when you think of Josh Emmett, you might think, oh, this guy might have 8, 9, 10 losses.
Oh,
Like, no. Like let's see, who has he lost to? Let's see. He's
Talita.
lost to he's lost to who? Hold on.
All pretty good guys.
Ilya Taporia.
Yep.
Wow. Yair Rodriguez. Whatever.
Interim
Jeremy
champ.
Stevens and Des Green in a split decision.
Yeah.
Those are losses are not bad. He
No.
lost to a
No.
prime Jeremy Stevens that was icing everybody. Uh, I mean, dude, man, I would not be surprised if Dan, if because if he doesn't, Emmett doesn't need to knock you out to win. He
No.
can win decisions. He can win decisions too. We've seen that, and
Yeah.
I think these odds are pretty disrespectful, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Josh Emmett in this fight. I don't mind it, man. You know, you got Murphy. Murphy's got good footwork, flowy striking. He moves well. He's well trained. He's got good fight IQ. But Emmett has all those things too.
Yeah.
I think Emmett is well rounded. He's as well rounded uh as Murphy is, and I don't get these odds, man. Give me Emmett. I don't really understand his nickname, but give me Emmett.
I am going. Nickname is CCO. Do not know. I'm going Murphy. I don't like the odds at all. I think I thought it was be a lot closer. I thought it was going to be like minus 150 or so for Murphy. The only reason I'm not betting this at all, though, the only reason I'm picking Murphy is the age. I think he might take down Josh Emmett a bunch too. Josh Emmett does not have the best takedown defense, and I don't think he's going to submit him or anything. Emmett's only been finished once or twice, I guess, but um, I don't think he's going to get finished. I mean, he made it to the cards with Ilya Taporia, and I think the one thing that scares me, the one reason I'm not more confident is Murphy. He's going to be a lot faster, but Ige hit him really hard. He knocked him down in that third round really hard, or second, whatever. And I think if Josh Emmett hits you like that, just flush, you're not recovering like that. You know,
Yeah.
power. Like you said, Josh Emmett can win decision. I
He's
think
got the
these are,
magic. He's got the button, man. He can hit the button on you, you know.
yeah. Odds are whack. I'm going Murphy. Maybe a boring decision.
Yeah.
Should be a fight card indeed. A quick regional minute for you. You've been stretching it longer than a minute, but you know what are you going to say? Stuff going on outside the UFC this week. Bare Knuckle FC has 2 days of fights in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. Austin Trout is on the card. Britton Hart is fighting Ty Emery. Sabah Hamasi is on the card. On the
Oh,
first
nice.
card, Alexei Oleinik making his bare knuckle debut.
Have you heard about the stuff about Lexi Olenek?
No steroids.
No, his wife is like taking everything from him.
Ooh, maybe
His
that's why
wife
he's.
like yeah, he said that he was trying to like save his family, and his wife took all his houses and everything, and the kids are like this whole family's like against him now or something.
Jesus,
And
that's fucked
she
up.
took all his money and all the cars and stuff. So
Jesus, maybe that's why he's
yeah,
doing this. I mean, we're
yeah.
renowned grappler and bare knuckle boxing.
I hope he wins.
Me too. PFL has their first world tournament round fight card. We're gonna do a whole episode about that, so I'm not gonna talk about it at all. Invicta FC is going down Friday at 6:30 on CBS Sports Network. Nobody really of note. Emily Ducote is fighting, I guess. If you care about
Ooh,
former UFC women's whatever they are.
I think Reed I think Reed bought a like a mystery box from UFC, and he got like
Oh
a
God,
signed Ducote jersey.
you toss it right out.
I hope he framed
Yeah,
it.
framed it. Um,
That's
one
hilarious.
one fight night is going down 8 p.m. At least right now, it's supposed to be in Bangkok. Myanmar just had a really bad earthquake that affected
Yeah.
Thailand too. So one canceled their Friday fights last week. Obviously, heart goes out to the hundreds of thousands affected. So I'm not sure if this card is still going to be on. If it is, 8 p.m. Eastern Friday, Amazon Prime. Roman Gorilla's one heavyweight Muay Thai champion, the one welterweight kickboxing champion. You got Sid Shivers, Nico Carrillo, and then Sescon's fighting too. So should be good. Octagon 69 Saturday at noon on octagon.tv. You got a few good fighters on there. If you're a regional guy, you recognize a few. No, I'm not going to talk about that one. Cage Waters Academy. No. BKFC Fight Night, Dubai, day 2, Saturday at noon. You got a few championships going on. Fabio Maldonado. I don't know if you remember Fabio
That guy's
Maldonado.
still fighting?
He's fighting John Phillips. Do you remember John Phillips?
What the
UFC
hell?
guy. Yeah.
2025, man.
2025. Aaron Chalmers is on there. Actually, 2 cards with some names, surprisingly. Glory has this is Saturday at noon in the Netherlands. They have a 32-man heavyweight kickboxing tournament going down.
Holy shit.
You're not going to know any of the names unless you're a kickboxing guy, but that'll be one to watch. And then last but not least, UWC 56, Saturday at 7 p.m. in Mexico. UFC Fight Pass, Johnny Munoz Jr., former UFC guy. A few other names you might know if you're into regional MMA. But that's it for the UFC or the regional minute. And we're at 53 minutes, so sorry to take so much time on that. Last but not least, UFC 314 preview. Got Alexander Volkanovski versus Diogo Lopez for the the vacant UFC Featherweight Championship in the main event. Chandler versus Pimblett, Mitchell versus Silva, Gross, Yair Rodriguez versus Pitbull, some other fun fights on the card. But Will, you know how we do it here. What is the fight you are most excited for on UFC 314 next week?
I think it's the fight everyone should be most excited for. We're finally getting Patricio Pitbull in the UFC. It might be, a couple years too late, but it's better late than never in
Yep.
this case. I don't think he's too out of it. I think Yair's beatable.
Yep.
I think it'll be a good fight, and I know Pitbull's an underdog, and I am all over that. So
Ooh,
give me some
interesting.
Pitbull.
I like it. I was going to go Prates versus Neal because I love Carlos Prates, but that fight is off. Neal injury. I'm going to go the main event. It's cheating, but I love Diego Lopez. My fiance is scared I'm going to get a dream, believe, and make it happen tattoo and cut the hair. I love
Do it.
Alexander Volkanovski. I thought about it so much. I am scared that one of them is going to lose, but I hope it's good. I hope it's a split decision where nobody gets hurt and we all have fun. So yeah, that is UFC 314, and that is UFC Fight Night Emmett versus Murphy. Will, thanks so much for joining me as always.
It's a good time.
And if you're still listening, last one was 23 minutes when I said it. This one's 55 minutes. So if you're still listening, hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoy the fight card. It's not the best, but we love fights and we love watching fights. So comes with it. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
You guys.